My name's Reese Winans. I'm the keyboard player for Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble. I want to thank the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for nominating us. This is such a great honor, something I never expected that would ever happen to us. This is fantastic to be here. I've never been here before. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a great place for all you music lovers. This is a life's dream come true for me. And the first thing I want to talk about is none of us would be here if it wasn't for Stevie Ray Vaughan. He was the leader of our band. It was his talent, his guitar playing, his genius that made us as good as we were. If it wasn't for him, none of us would be here. So thank you, Stevie. I also want to say thank you to Double Trouble. Playing with you guys was one of the high points of my musical life. The shows were glorious. Thank you. On a personal level, I've been a musician for 50 years. I've been playing rock and roll for 50 years. It's been a wonderful thing. I've met so many glorious people. The first show I ever saw, and I didn't know he was going to be here tonight, the first show I ever saw was Jerry Lee Lewis. And so I want to thank you for inspiring me, sir. Thank you very much. My wife and family are here tonight. I want to thank you for being here and for being so supportive of me. I want to thank you for all my extended family who are here. I especially want to thank, there's a lot of people who go into making a rock and roll show great, and it's the musicians, and it's also the crew. We had a fantastic crew. I would love to thank each and every one of you guys. I also want to thank the people who came out to support us on all of our shows. You know, live music, you guys come out and support live music. Thank you for doing that. I want to thank you for everyone who supports live music. All the people who come to see symphonies, come to see blues shows, country shows, folk music shows, everyone. Thank you so much. Without your audience, where would we be? So thank you. This is unbelievable to be here. Thank you so much.
I want to thank the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and all the people that supported us for over 25 years. Without them, we wouldn't be where we are. I want to thank Beverly Howell and Mark Murray and if it wasn't for Stevie, I wouldn't be here. Thanks.
Good evening, Chris Layton, drummer for Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble. Thank you, John. I couldn't have said that better myself. When I first heard Stevie, I was outside this club, and I was walking up to it, and I heard this guitar coming out of it within the band, and it wasn't any louder than the rest of the band, but I could hear it like a bell. I walked in, and I was mesmerized. Went back out the next week to see that band, and the drummer had overslept, so he got me up to sit in. After that, Stevie came over to the apartment next day, because my roommate was the sax player in that band. I told him, I said, you know what, I'd really like to work with you. Actually, we had discovered that we both had this love of Stevie Wonder as well as the blues, and that's kind of what you like him too, but who doesn't like Stevie Wonder? A year later, he asked me to work with him, and the band started. He said, you know, as we got going, it was real simple. He said, you know what, I look around, and he goes, I see that everybody has these unique talents that the rest of us don't have, and maybe if we can give these things to one another, that we can all be better for it, and we can do something with it. And with that, he said, let's keep it simple. Let's keep it real. Let's make it mean something, and let's do something with that. Maybe we can give something to somebody. And that's what we did. I have to thank, we did a show in Austin, Texas, and Jerry Wexler showed up there, and he danced with us all night long. The next day, he called Claude Nobbs in Switzerland and said, you got to get these guys to come play. Claude Nobbs booked us. We went, we met David Bowie. The next night we did a little club gig in Montreux. Jackson Browne came through and he said, take take my studio, make your first record is what we did. I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time. I don't have a speech. This is my speech. Anyway, it was John Hammond that heard that and got us our deal at Epic Records, the fabulous John Hammond. You know, Stevie said, let's do this. He said, what we need to do is, he goes, we need to put our foot on the gas pedal, and he goes, and we need to floor it. And that's what we did. It almost ran us off the rails. It did run us off the rails, almost took us off the cliff. We got back on, and everything was wonderful. He passed. That forever changed my life. So did the experience. Today I feel fortunate. My life is blessed. I'm so grateful to be here to accept this. I want to thank my beautiful wife, Betty Layton, of 33 years, for sticking by me the whole time. My kids, Joe and Darby, and my bandmates, Reese and Tommy and Stevie. I love you, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We wanted to give, and maybe what we gave, what we tried to give, and maybe what y'all got, and you all in turn said, why don't you come here and be here tonight and come on in here. Thank you.
I'm Jimmie Vaughan. Stevie Ray Vaughan was my little brother. I know he would want to thank the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but most of all, he'd want to thank his fans, all 18 million of them that voted for him to get in here. And I can see him walking up here all humble and shy with his quiet little sweet voice and being so proud. He would be so proud, and so would my mother and father. I wanted to say a few things about Stevie that maybe his fans might not know about. We all know he's a great guitar player. He could play beautiful, mean, fun, and it could be overwhelming, and he would drag you along when you started listening to him. Our dad used to say, he's a bad motor scooter. And he is a bad motor scooter, I'm telling you. But what you're really hearing when you hear Stevie was his enthusiasm for everything. That's what he loved. He had enthusiasm. That's why people love his music, because he loved it so much. He couldn't stand it. He loved playing guitar more than anybody I know. My mom and dad were real good dancers, swing dancers, and they loved music. So that's first where we first heard swing music and swing beat and all that stuff, just like blues. And Dad liked T. Dorsey and Jack Teagarden. My uncles both played guitar on both sides of the family. There was 4 hillbilly guitar players on both sides. And let me tell you, the blues and the stuff they played is the same thing. It was the same thing to me. I didn't know the difference. My dad was an asbestos worker, and he was in the local with a guy named Leonard who came over to the house, and he had played with Chuck Berry. He had his name in the neck. And at 12 years old, me and Stevie at 8, we were really impressed. I had just started playing, and Leonard taught me how to play like John Lee Hooker and Jimmy Reed in about 30 minutes. And Stevie was standing right there. I had a Montgomery Ward guitar, and Stevie had a toy cowboy guitar. I hope they're showing the picture. Dad would say, you boys go get your guitar and play for your friends here. And they would say, oh, you guys are real good. Maybe someday you can make a record together. And little brothers sometimes, most of the time, want to do what big brothers do. If anybody's got a little brother, little sister, you know that. If I'd left, I would say, don't touch my guitar. And as soon as I'd put it down, he'd pick it up. And that's the way it went. I started making a little bit of money in some different bands, and I brought home blues records. I went crazy on the blues, and just, I couldn't believe it. So I brought home Albert King and Freddie King and B.B. King, and then later on Muddy Waters. I saved my lunch money and bought Chuck Berry and Lonnie Mack 45s and brought them home. T-Bone Walker and the 5 Royales. And then later on, I found out about Eric Clapton and Jeff Beck, and then Jimi Hendrix. Stevie was right there with me when all this was going on. He was like 8 and 9 years old, you know. In 70, I'm gonna skip forward, we moved to Austin, and about 4 years later, Stevie moved down there, and there was a lot of little clubs to play, and everybody, it was wild. We had a lot of fun. My band was the Fabulous Thunderbirds. Thank you. And we were the house band. We were the house band at Anton's Club in Austin. That was Blues Central. Clifford Anton had booked Albert King and his band in the club. That was a big deal for everybody. Everybody was there. Stevie asked Clifford to ask Albert if he could sit in. Now, wow, nobody in their right mind would ask Albert King, could they sit in? If you know Albert King, he was a great big giant guy with a pipe and cool. So at first Albert said no. And then later on he said, okay, but you could tell he was put out, you know. So this is in the Pack Club at Anton's. Stevie gets up there and watched, and in amazement, Albert watched Stevie play Albert King licks. Even Albert liked it. He loved it. And he took Stevie under his wing. Did they show the picture? Okay, they didn't show the picture. There's a picture of it. That was like a real turning point for Stevie. We were all there watching, and we couldn't believe he would say that to anyone and actually do it. But it was amazing. And his confidence really just tripled. And Albert was there to help him. The next of many milestones was his Texas Flood record. This Texas Flood record, it just tore it up, and everybody was excited. Then John Hammond, and then David's Bowie, Let's Dance, he played lead on that. That was #1 for forever and ever, 3, 4, 5, a couple of months, and he just played harder and harder and harder. And we had a ball touring together with Double Trouble and the Fabulous Thunderbirds for years. Guitar players can appreciate his technique and his power, but it was his enthusiasm that really set him apart. I don't want to take credit for Stevie the musician, what he became. He took all these influences and made them his own. So after we got going there, we got into drugs and drinking, both of us. I'm the oldest one, and I went first with a big smile on my face. Big brother showed little brother how to play the guitar at first, but let me tell you, little brother showed me how to get clean and sober. He was sober 4 years, and we were out playing gigs before I figured it out. And he was sober 4 years before that helicopter went down on August 27th, 1990. He died on the same day as my father, as our father, 4 years apart. So I just want you to know, I couldn't be more proud of him. He was the most wonderful, cool, talented little brother anybody could ever have. It seems like to me that he's just out on tour and that he's going to come back soon, you know. But then I remember, I'm not going to ever get over losing him. I'm not going to ever get over this crazy thing. But I want to tell you what Stevie didn't get is what I have been able to have, is my beautiful wife and my 4 kids, Anna and Gina and Tina and Tyrone. Music lost a good man. Our family lost their beloved, but he gave me something that will last forever. Every day I wake up clean and sober, and I think of my brother. In the end, little brother taught big brother. On behalf of my brother Stevie Ray Vaughan and all our family, I thank you for this honor. Thank you very much.